How many people are members of your church? I'm going to presume that you're talking about Microdacism. Well, Microdacism is not a church. And to answer the question, the answer is 0. There are no members. Because Microdacism urges people to think for themselves, and then in thinking for themselves, to create their own school of thought based upon their experiences, based upon their knowledge, based upon their intuition and wisdom gleaned from wise people. So you see, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the individual who perhaps, in hearing what I say, go, maybe he is right. I should think for myself. See this book? This is a book that should be in your library because it's a compilation of different ideas and different thoughts. From Gilgamesh, the epic poem, to the Sumerians. I mean, just a lot of different thoughts. And, you know, it is really an excellent book if you want to just read stories and perhaps get some clue as to certain moralities and perhaps guides to a way should live. For example, many years ago, people believed that there were many gods, that they should worship many gods. Even in this Bible, it'll tell you, let us make man in our image. Us, meaning multiple gods. Let us make man in our image. Then, along came a guy, the Pharaoh, Anakin, who said, wait a minute. There aren't many gods. There is just one consciousness. He called that consciousness Ra. He is credited for being the man who created the one God theory. The monotheism is credited to Anakin, the Pharaoh. And you say, well, he's a Pharaoh. Where does he find time to think about matters of theology? Well, a lot of people have always thought about matters of theology. Marcus Aurelius, for example, was an emperor, yet some of the best laws of morality and humanity were written by Marcus Aurelius, but that's another story. Back to Microdacism. Microdacism, really, all it says is that you should think for yourself. Just because you're born into a religion does not mean you have to stay there. It really doesn't. And time again, human beings have proven that they don't have to stay there. There's an old blues song. You know, I don't mind coming down into the gutter to help you to get out, but don't expect me to stay there with you. If that's your choice, so be it. If it is your choice to stay in the intellectual gutter, that's your choice and that's okay. No judgment on my part. That's just the way it is. And as for messengers, all throughout time, we have had people who come to earth as messengers to teach us the way to go. And these messengers have always been very good at imparting wisdom. See this book? The Art of War. This book has been around for centuries. But I want to read you something. It really doesn't have much to do with war, I don't think. Okay. This is Art of War, Sun Tzu. He said, look, when the enemy is confused, you can use this opportunity to take them. Well, it is something that is used by modern day politicians. In a few more weeks, we will have an election, and many people are confused, and unscrupulous politicians like it that way. And he went on to say, I would have crafted interlopers, confuse them, then wait for them to fall into disarray in order to take them. Sounds familiar? So what unscrupulous politicians are doing, he is simply confusing people with a lot of stories, and then he will take them because people don't think for themselves. Isn't that something? Another, and speaking about government, I want to share this with you with government. Okay? And this is from the I Ching. And the author of this was born like 550 BC or something like that. He said, when a country is in harmony with the Tao, meaning universal consciousness, the Tao, the factors make trucks and tractors. When a country goes counter to the Tao, warheads are stockpiled outside the cities. There is no greater illusion than fear, no greater wrong than preparing to defend yourself, no greater misfortune than to have an enemy. Now, warmongers, of course, what they do, they create enemies, and once they have created enemies, they then have wars, and when wars, they then sell weapons. It's a formula that has worked for many years. But of course, when you start to think for yourself, you can see the folly of it all. Anyway, that's my little chit-chat, off the cuff, unscripted little chit-chat, and it is Thursday, a thoughtful Thursday. Have a wonderful and beautiful day, and choose to be happy.